Everybody, today we are talking about the sticky stuff. Not that kind of sticky stuff. My guests are Amrit and Lauren, co-founders of Spread the Jelly, a media platform built on the idea that motherhood deserves more honesty, more vulnerability, and a lot less pretending, which I'm all about right now. I'm not pretending at all on the internet. Some people are like, oh, girl, are you okay? I'm medium okay, everybody. On Spread the Jelly, everybody there talks about the things that women wish that they had known, the realities that rarely make it into the highlight reel, and the conversations happening in group chats, but not like enough in the public. And so this is a really fun episode. Let's get into it.
We're so excited to be here.
Hi. You guys were just telling me that it's so nice to be on the other side of the microphone.
Yeah. It is.
You're doing a lot of interviews over at Spread the Jelly.
A lot of interviews.
We do a lot of interviews.
How many do you think we've done? 200?
I was going to say around 100.
Oh, no, wait.
More.
We've done way more than that.
Yeah. I guess including all of the self-submitted essays. Yeah, definitely. Probably 200.
Yeah.
Tell me about the platform. Like, I assume that you're both mothers.
We are.
Yeah.
And the motherhood experience inspired you to start Spread the Jelly.
You are right. Yeah.
Correct.
Actually, more of the fertility.
Really?
Yeah. Fertility, because I had a tough time conceiving. And was the first of my friends. So there wasn't that community to really talk about anything. And I think so much of womanhood and motherhood happens in a way where you feel blindsided and it like happens in real time versus like being prepared. And then I'd reached out to Lauren because she was a little in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
When I finally got pregnant, and I was like, wow, isn't it crazy? Like all the things that we go through, and why does it present it in this way? Why do people not talk about stuff like this? But it was just a hang. And then the more we talked, the more we felt like there was just this kind of missing piece to the lives we were living and all the women we knew, and there wasn't anything they could identify with or speak freely or feel connected to. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. But I don't think we led with the intention of starting a platform. It was like lunch at your house. Yeah.
I think that, Amrit had reached out to me, like she said, because she was the first in her friend group to get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And, she had a tougher pregnancy and delivery and labor than I did. I actually had a pretty easy pregnancy and
a positive birth experience. Wow.
Which I always like to say, like, Spread the Jelly's really great at being able to present a full spectrum of and diverse kind of experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, we wanted to be able to speak to, all of the sticky stuff, of course, because that was the most important stuff that people could connect to, but also present the aspiration and the joy, because I think there wasn't a place where it was inclusive of all of those things.
Yeah.
And motherhood is the same way. It's like, it can be, messy. It could be scary and dark sometimes, but it also can be this really beautiful, exciting experience. So we really wanted to reflect the reality of it.
Yeah, full spectrum. I love that. It's so interesting. I saw a video, a woman who's had a very positive birth experience and a very positive postpartum and early motherhood journey made a video that was like, everything about motherhood on the internet is so negative right now, and can we talk about the positive stuff? And I saw the video and I said, yes, that is so valid, and I'm so glad she made the video. But I also got mad when I saw the video because I was like, I have postpartum depression and I retain placenta and my kid has CMPA and I love my fucking baby, but I've had a very challenging time. And so if you haven't had a very challenging time, how do you know what it is to sit in the darkness and then complain about that kind of content that's being made? And it made me really mad. And I didn't mean to get mad, but I was like, I'm so happy for you, but also fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's like a very valid reaction.
She I think, didn't get it,
yeah.
And I was like, I get that you don't get it, but you don't get it.
Right.
So you don't need to speak to it. Like, that's okay. Like, if you don't need to speak to it. But we keep that lens a lot with, like, when we build our editorial calendar, because we get that feedback from people. And of course, like, there's no blueprint in motherhood. So everybody's experience is radically different from one to the other, and we really have to make a concerted effort to tell stories that feel diverse and they're not, sharing similar sentiments all in 1 month. Because when like, for whatever reason, and obviously this, like even with the podcast, like we're on a talent like schedule. So it's kind of out of control, like who says yes or what kind of runs at the same time. And if we have like certain postpartum heavy or loss heavy or specific themes that reoccur, like we'll get messages from people.
Something go viral for the wrong reason.
Yeah. And and the other thing too is like we don't share what we feel. We share perspective. We're not giving advice. Like it doesn't need, it's like what you're saying, it doesn't need to apply to your life. Like it applies to mine. If it resonates with you, take it. And if it doesn't, move along. Like you don't need to connect with every piece of content.
Yeah.
And like I remember once we had this like really big backlash from like a doula community, and like use a doula. We love doulas. But one of the features was like, I wish I'd done it on my own. And so then people were writing to us really upset. And we're like, hey, like this is not our story. Like we share everything verbatim, and like sometimes it might not be what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And you don't need to relate to it. That's okay. Like that's the cool thing about what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's a place for everybody.
It is a place for everybody. And I feel like what's interesting about our community specifically is we have a lot of people who have not gotten pregnant, who maybe don't even want to have kids, or who are curious about having children. So we also don't want to be a place where it just feels very scary, where it's like every story that we're sharing is about, something that's traumatizing or that's really upsetting. So I think for us, we want to be a space that holds space for both of those things.
Yeah.
And not like a exclusive space.
No.
Inclusive
It's an inclusive space and really around the support of motherhood, but not motherhood exclusive.
Yeah. And if we don't talk about our experiences, people can't support us. And if you don't talk about postpartum depression, then the people in your lives can't approach you with the kindness and support that you need because you aren't sharing how you feel. So the thing is like, and I feel this way about announcing pregnancies too. Like I say it immediately now. I'm like, I'm pregnant. And I'm doing it more for me than them. Like I don't care if it doesn't work out. Like I want to be treated with the care and respect and support of a pregnant person. And I think it goes with like, that goes with anything in motherhood. So it's like, if you want to share that, you're doing it for you. It's like, you don't need to understand it firsthand to like be there for me.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't need to.
I think with like the state of the internet right now, it's really interesting because everything sort of needs to be triggering to get your attention, to get you to stay for longer than 3 seconds, which creates like a content issue to a certain degree, and it's like it's starting to become confusing for people's brains on like how you understand what is created just to be consumed and to like take from it what you want to take from it, right? Like I don't know, it's just very interesting, and I see it in my DMs also. It's like people are very one side or the other. Yeah. There's not a lot of like common ground, middle ground understanding, even on the motherhood stuff. I guess the motherhood stuff can be like some of the most controversial stuff.
I think it is.
It is.
I think that the motherhood stuff gets the most backlash. I think, when someone feels like a mother isn't doing it in the right way, they're coming after her. I think the nice thing about our platform is we don't see that very much.
Yeah.
It does feel like kind of a warmer space where people are taking the information and just sitting with it and saying, oh, I didn't know that, or I learned something different, instead of attacking someone for the way they're doing it. Or that's not for me.
Yeah.
Was that like tone and like creative approach purposeful when you guys founded it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was very, we try to be big sister and peer to peer. We're not interested in being experts, or we aren't experts. We're just moms.
And our kids are young still.
And our kids are younger.
We have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old respectively.
Exactly. So we don't like come from a place of advice. We share perspective, which is why we bring on other people to talk about their stories. And I think we have so much to learn from one another. And so just trying to create that kind of environment. And so many factors lead into it, right? So where you live, how many kids do you have, what kind of support do you have, what your what career looks like for you. So, being able to see all these different types of archetypes of mothering and womanhood and being like, her lifestyle and my lifestyle are similar. Maybe something she's speaking about could work for me. Because there are stories I read all the time. I'm like, okay, there's just no way I could integrate that into my life. It just wouldn't, or our registry with someone who's more coastal or with someone who drives everywhere would be radically different. And like that that's across everything. So motherhood. So it's nice to be able to cherry pick too, like, oh, like I can relate to what she's saying because we're similar or
I'm curious, like, since you guys have started to interview moms and you're deeply entrenched in this, and I have only five months of data, personal data, but I'm coming up on some stuff. I'm curious for you, what is like the thing that you have learned from a mom that you're like, there's no way that I could apply that to my life? For me, right now, as I'm starting to think about feeding my daughter solids, it's like making all that food and putting it in the little ice cube trays and then taking like 5 different little frozen meals and like melting them down into a thing. And it's like, there's the rice, there's the sweet potato, there's the ground beef, there's the peas. And it's like, you make all of this like crazy, amazing food. And I'm like, there's no fucking way that I can that I can manage that. But I'm curious, what's your like big thing right now that you've like picked up on in all of your interviews?
I do feel like that window you're in is a very predatory window. And then you get out of, because the first few months you're like, I need to keep this baby alive. There has to be all these things I need to do. And then later down the line, maybe it's just been this case for me, but I'm like, you figure it out. Like,
we're
it's
actually going to be
like,
fine even if we don't have all of our little frozen ice cube food.
Like, we didn't have any of that. Like back then, like my mom definitely was not doing that. Like we're all fine. And so I think in the beginning, you're like so motivated by fear. You're like, I need to do this or like something will really go wrong. And like, I'm a bad mom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tell me I'm a good mom.
Exactly. Great
but
name.
I think that is a great name because I feel like everyone is searching for that validation in the way that they're raising their kids. I feel like the concept of balance is something that I think is just maybe not a reality for me right now.
Yeah.
And, there are moms out there who are building companies and who are able to put their phone down at 5 p.m. or make it something where they're going to separate the time with their kids and their work. And I think that is something I can't do right now. And I think I'm okay with that. Like, I still am present for dinner time, bath time. When he goes to sleep, I'm back doing work at 9, 10 p.m. And that's just kind of the reality of the situation right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes a lot of what modern motherhood is about is like creating this balanced life, and maybe that's not in the cards for me at this moment, which I'm okay with.
I don't feel balanced either.
I don't feel balanced. I also get very influenced by the features. So after we interview people, I'm like, we're gonna do this. And my husband's like, we're not gonna do that. Like, that's insane. Okay. Like, that would never fit in our life.
Yeah.
And I remember we have a friend, Pia, who has also a podcast on Dear Media. And we did her feature, and I remember we're like friends. We're all friendly. And our husbands are friends. And after her feature came out, I was like, and they go to bed at like 7 p.m. and then they go on a date night and like they make cocktails and like the kids are down and the bedroom is child free. And I'm like, that sounds so good. But the reality is like my husband and I love to co-sleep.
Same.
Like, we love to co-sleep. My daughter gets in every night, most nights at 1 or 2 in the morning. And if she doesn't, I'm like, what's going wrong? Like, I'm dysregulated because I'm so used to sleeping with it. But then I will tell, a lot of the features are like, I have a firm bedtime. My kid's down by 7. Like, it's me time from then. Like, I've never been able to apply that to my life. And I'm at the point now where I don't think I want to. Like, I'm enjoying, like, how much longer are we, like, going to have left of this? Like, she's a girl. I'm trying to explain, like, there will be a time where she'll close the door and say, like, don't come into my room. Like, I don't want you in here. And so I'm like, this is not forever. Like, I know it's not the pediatric guidelines or like what the experts are saying or like creating, sleep training, or like we slept train lately in the beginning when she was a baby so she could understand sort of like being able to regulate herself and things like that. But now at 3, I'm like, if you want to crawl into my bed, I'm totally fine with that. Like, I actually prefer it too. Yeah. I'm enjoying it as much as you are.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the popular opinion, but whatever, I'm going to rock with it.
I also never was a schedule person.
And I've never been on a schedule.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends who really love a schedule and it keeps everything going in their house. I think for me, it's the opposite. I think being fluid is really important for my family. You know, my son doesn't have like a strict bedtime, and he was always the kid in the car seat that I would bring out to dinners with my friends because that was important to me, and that kept me fulfilled as like an individual. And he kind of adapted and is also a really social kid now who's able to kind of hang out with all different kinds of people and go to people's houses and feel really comfortable. And, you know, when we walk him into daycare, he's like, bye, not an issue. So I think it just really honestly is just however you want to do it. And Spread the Jelly is about presenting those stories as is and letting people tell them.
I love that. The as is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and we need to like approach things less reactively too, I think, because I've noticed that because of what society's like put onto mothers, we're always having to defend the way we do things.
yes.
Yeah.
And like what? Like I remember once I like was at a dinner with a friend and she pulled out a screen and she like kept apologizing that her son was on a screen. And I was like, I don't care. Like I'm not going to judge you. Like our kids' temperaments are different. Like my daughter is not engaged by a screen. Like she's happy to sit here and talk. But like there are tons of other things I do that you wouldn't. And I really do not give a shit if your kid is on a screen. Like I'm not the police, you know, but women are always apologizing. Like, making an excuse. And it's because we've been made to feel that way by society that like, if we don't like do X, Y, Z, like we're not doing it right.
Yeah.
And like, I am interested in keeping my child alive. Like I don't care how someone else is doing it. And I am fascinated by the amount of people who are so deeply invested in other people's mothering, but like not me.
It's just the internet these days. It actually brings me to our group chat questions. So every episode I get inbounds from the group chat and we put together some of the best questions and we get into them.
If you have been listening to the show for a while, you know that we went through the dreaded 4-month sleep regression. And in this house, we did not thrive. But what got us through was building a real bedtime routine, and Hatch Baby has become the anchor of our bedtime routine. Hatch Baby features expert sleep support, including real-time one-on-one sleep consultant chat, milestone sleep guides, and science-backed lights and sounds. And every Hatch Baby includes 3 months of this expert sleep support and premium content, which honestly feels like having a sleep expert on call during the exact nights that you need one the most. And you've seen the Hatch Baby. They are all over social media. They are so cute. And Nell loves having her Hatch Baby in her room. What I also love about it is that it grows with your child, supporting healthy sleep routines from the baby in the bassinet all the way to the big kid bed. So it's not another gadget that you retire in 6 months. I'm starting to realize so much baby gear comes in and comes out so quickly, but not the Hatch Baby. There's a reason Hatch is in 1 in 3 nurseries and is the #1 baby registry gift. It comes in 5 dreamy colors, so there's a Hatch Baby for every nursery. Head to hatch.co/baby to shop and learn more. You can also find Hatch Baby on Amazon, Target, and Babylist registries. Again, that's hatch.co/baby to shop and get real-time sleep support. I would like to be honest with you guys about what working out looks like for me right now. Brutally honest. It's about 10 minutes during nap time, maybe 15 minutes before Nell gets up from nap time. Little moments squeezed in between everything else. And that is why I love Stacked, a female-founded wellness brand that believes movement is essential for a balanced life. And it actually designs for how we live. Their foldable Stacked mat is the original 2-in-1 fitness mat that doubles as a block. It's twice as thick as a standard yoga mat, and it is super lightweight. You have seen them all over the internet. They are really cute, by the way. Their patented adjustable stacked weights flex between 2, 4, and 6 pounds. And yes, they did make Oprah's favorite things in 2025. Their new adjustable weighted vest goes from 6 to 8 pounds. I wear it all over my neighborhood when I take my morning walk, so you can zip on more resistance as you get stronger. It adds strength training to a walk without adding a single minute to your day, and it has a washable liner and a mesh pocket for your phone. Best friends Taylor and Millie founded Stack during the pandemic, and I know Taylor and Millie. They are incredible women. They went on Shark Tank and they landed on Time's 200 Best Inventions of 2023 list. They also have curated sets like the starter set and the Pilates set that bundle everything you need and save you money. Visit shopstack.com/goodmom and use code GMOM at checkout for 20% off your purchase. That's shopstack.com/goodmom and use code GMOM for 20% off your order. We talk a lot on this show with our guests about the mental load and the fact that someone in every household is the walking, talking family calendar. And it's usually mom. For a long time in our house, that was me. The doctor's appointments, the nanny's hours, what day music classes, whether we have anything for dinner on Tuesday, all of it lived in my head. And my head was full. There was like 100 tabs open all at once. The Skylight calendar is what finally got it all out of my head and onto a wall. And what I mean by that is that it's an all-in-one digital smart calendar that syncs seamlessly with Google Calendar and Apple Calendar and Outlook and more, with customizable daily, weekly, and monthly views. So everyone in the family gets their own color. Nobody can claim they didn't know what they were supposed to do. You can manage events and chores and even grocery lists all in one place. And as Nell gets older, their task feature turns routines like brushing teeth into something fun and rewarding. So I know this thing grows with us. And here's the part that I love. If in 4 months you're not 100% thrilled, you can return it for a full refund. No questions asked. Families are better when they're working together. Right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $30 off their 15-inch calendars by going to myskylight.com/goodmom. Go to myskylight.com/goodmom for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That's myskylight.com/goodmom.
So my first question is kind of in the zip code of what you just talked about. The question is, what is something women have been taught is normal that maybe we shouldn't be accepting as normal anymore? What have we been taught to tolerate?
Ooh.
I think that it's actually interesting because there was an essay that we just published recently. And it's about women just feeling like they need to survive and they need to endure and wanting more than that. So I think that is something that women, I think, have been, taught to accept, is that you hold everything. And we shouldn't. We shouldn't have to be the only people that hold all of this. And I think, having supportive partners or having supportive friends that could help bear the weight of raising a child is very normal. And women should be able to strive for more, and mothers should be able to strive for more in fulfillment and happiness, and not just feel like they have to hold it all.
Yeah. I think, and I have talked about this a couple times on the show. I first spoke about it with Emily Oster, but I think industrialization basically broke apart how we live together as families in the United States. We used to do like multi-generational family homes, and we really don't anymore. And so I think the actual motherhood load looked different 100 years ago than it does now, because now we're isolated in our houses. And I think that, like in the 50s when all these ladies were like popping pills and shit, it's because it got really hard, but they weren't able to talk about it then, right?
Yeah.
And so since I have become a mom and more people are starting to have these honest conversations about motherhood, I very much clued into the fact that some days it literally does just feel like survival.
Yeah.
And that is really, really hard. But I think it's as of late that we've been even having that conversation and saying that kind of stuff out loud.
Yeah.
Because 3 years ago, if you had asked me what early motherhood is like, I would not say to you, because I hadn't experienced yet, it literally feels like survival most days. Like I'm just trying to fucking survive. I would not have said that.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't done it. I didn't have the insight, right? And that's fair. But these kinds of conversations are so necessary to like, I think it's like people need a pre-read without freaking them out too badly.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But I don't quite know where that line is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like when people are pregnant, right? There's this like very like common trope online where they're like, I don't need to hear your most traumatic birth story. Like, this is not an open invitation to like to like share your trauma with me, but I always like try to remember like all of this is coming from such a good place, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember giving birth being like, why the fuck didn't anyone tell me it was going to be like this?
Yeah.
Same.
So it's like it's all coming from such a like a place of care and like people want to protect you almost. So it's like finding that balance of being honest and transparent and candid to better prepare women while also like understanding that they might not be in the mind space to hear that. So it's like a continuous like delicate balance.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made the mistake the other day of being a little bit too honest with a pregnant woman, and I could see the color start to drain from her face, and I stopped and I thought, oh fuck. Like I am going too far right now, and I like didn't kind of know how to walk it back, and I have been thinking about it for days.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, oh my God, like I hope that she doesn't like carry what I said with her and she's freaked out right now. But like to your point, it's like when you're pregnant, you either are open to receiving or you're not.
Yeah.
I feel like you're like on one side of the spectrum or one side of the coin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're either like, give me everything. I want to know everything so that I can prepare. Or no, I don't want to know that. I need to like continue to like be in my little pregnancy zone. But I think what's interesting to me too is that I get a lot of, you guys have to tell me, I get a lot of content that's like controversial dad content.
Like what?
Like what?
Like either the content is so heavy on my husband is the best partner and dad ever, or my husband is a fucking loser and he doesn't do shit.
Oh, yeah. It's like, what are those? It's like that things I do for my man before I leave. Nothing, because I didn't marry a deadbeat. And you're like, why is it like so all or nothing? Like,
I mean, I do feel like the fatherhood conversation deserves a little more nuance these days, too.
It does.
Yeah.
It totally does.
And I feel like we have great partners.
supportive partners. Yeah.
So a lot of what we're able to do is because they support us in a way that allows us to like
we travel a lot.
Yes.
My husband definitely takes the lead on a lot of things. I would say he's responsible for more like bedtimes and like pickups and things like that. Because of the stage of business we're at. And he loves he loves to do that. But I don't think that's the norm in any way. So sometimes I find I have to be careful when I'm having conversations, because once I was on a trip with a mom, she's 4 kids. So I'm like, I'm like interested and curious and talking to her. I'm like, she's done it 4 times. Like, I'm sure she has like a wealth of knowledge she can pass off to me. And she was like, oh, my husband's never changed a diaper. And I'm like, okay, well, you and I are going to, like, I don't know what we're going to talk about, because we're just in very different situations. I think they have a lot of external help, but everybody's reality is so different. And then sometimes I get on the side of like, of the internet where it's like we don't need men. We should just do this ourselves. I'm like, no, I need my partner. Like I want the help, and like I need the person to parent with. But everybody has their own like personal point of view, and like it's just from their like story, and the nuance comes from like where they've been. And so I always try to like listen from a point of view where it's like, that's your life, my life is different, no one's is better. We're just all like having very different experiences.
I also
you guys are very interestingly neutral, because I think Spread the Jelly is neutral.
Yeah.
So you are, but I'm not neutral.
That's okay.
I love that.
Yeah, we like that.
I am a very like opinionated.
You're opinionated.
I'm
so
very
am
opinionated.
I feel like we have our opinions, but we really do let the platform just like live as like this resource for people. And I think
which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you're not like turning everything into an opinion piece. And this is how you have to be a mom, XYZ. But like for this question, I'm like, hands off fatherhood is like what is not normal. To never change a diaper.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's
that's like mentally unwell.
Yeah.
Like I think you should have to. Okay, I have actually a very
polarizing hot.
I have a polarizing take, and like I had a night nurse because we didn't have family around, and she came in. I had a complicated pregnancy. Like I had preeclampsia, like I nearly died. I was in the NICU. My daughter was in the NICU. I ended up having an emergency C-section. It was like one of those, it was a bumpy ride. And after a month of like killing ourselves trying to survive on our own, we were like, let's get help. and we had someone come 3 nights a week. And I'm really glad that we had her this time around. If I have a second baby, I'm having someone from the go. But I still wouldn't want to do it every single day because I think some kind of character is built from like going through the shit though. Like I think when you have someone, and I have a lot of friends who had a night nurse from day one. But I do feel like the first few weeks of like being in the dark, blindly struggling, like is some of my fondest memories now.
We have that in common because my mom was supposed to be in the delivery room with me and come and live with us right after I gave birth. And she got diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, so couldn't. And so it kind of like rocked our worlds, but it did end up being like the most like incredible time for us as a partnership where we navigated it ourselves. And through all of the ups and downs, we were just like, wow, we really did that together.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing thing that we like look back on. And yeah, I feel like similarly to you. That it was like, there was some crazy stuff that happened, like, but we got through it.
Yeah, it's those really challenging times that builds a lot of depth in partnerships and builds a lot of character. And you really see who like your partner is.
You learn so much about someone.
You really do.
There are things I'm like, I did not like think you were this type of person, but now I know differently. Yeah. Because like we're very, very like type B lackadaisical people, but my husband's like a worrier about my daughter. And he'd be like, she's like, do we think she's breathing? Like she's been sleeping for a long time. I'm like, if you go in there, I will like murder you.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd never seen that side of him before. I was
your
like,
insecurities and the things that you're most scared of really shine in early parenthood.
Yes.
And you definitely see a new side to your partner that like you suspected was there, maybe saw little bits of it, but it really comes to a surface when you have a 9-day-old at home and it's your first kid and you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We have to keep this little baby alive and they don't want to eat or sleep or do whatever it is. Every baby like has their own thing.
And you're always going to want to do things radically different, which is like a real like, what's that? Like they say going to IKEA is like the litmus test of relationship. I feel like the first like 30 days is like the litmus test to your like
partnership,
like parenthood. Because you're like, oh, you decided to do it that way. How interesting. Like, but then you have to like, remember, like, we're going in the same, I like have this mantra, I'm like, we're going in the same direction. We want to get to the same place.
The same destination.
We don't need, this does not need to be like a conversation. Like, am I agreeing with the way you're putting the diaper on? No. But like, is the diaper going to be on? Yes. Should I hold my peace on this one? Yes.
Yeah.
You know, bravo to newly postpartum women for just keeping it zipped sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Choosing your battles.
Yeah.
I'm curious because you guys interview a lot of people at Spread the Jelly. What conversations are still happening in private and not in public? Because I have to imagine that there's a lot that doesn't make the final edit because women or men or families that you're speaking to get nervous right at the end and they're like, actually, please don't include that, or actually that's going too far, or that's too sensitive. I want to know what those things are.
I think sex and intimacy is a big one. I think people are still not willing to speak as openly about that and how that's affected by having children. And when people are feeling back to their bodies and back to their partners and kind of the bumpy road of what that looks like, I think is one big thing that people still don't love talking about publicly.
That's a really good one.
Adoption and surrogacy for the legality reasons. Fostering, again, like there's so much red tape about what you can share. And it differs like dramatically in different countries. So
is it because there's so many different opinions about adoption and surrogacy? Because I see, again, on my stupid internet, everyone, I get really dramatically different opinions on those things.
100%. And I also think fear of like protecting the child too in a certain way, because it's like, I know with adoption and surrogacy specifically, there are laws that prevent you, especially if the adoption in America maybe isn't fully all the way. I know in Australia, like with certain things, because I'm Australian, it's in the best interest of the child. So I don't believe like you can share certain things online. And so again, people are like reluctant, or if a case isn't fully, followed through, like separations, divorces, anything where there's like multiple points of view. It's like, how they always say like there's A, there's B, and then there's the real story.
Mm-hmm.
So like in like multi-perspective situations, I think people are hesitant in being the only one that's sharing their point of view, because it's like, well, I'm sure multiple people have a different opinion, but like, yeah.
That makes sense. Have you guys had people that you've interviewed that like are keeping private that they like did an adoption or that they had their baby from a surrogate? I'm not asking you to name names. I'm just curious.
There are people that we would like to tell their story who aren't comfortable doing that yet because they either used a surrogate or adopted.
For many different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like some because the countries they're from haven't legally recognized same-sex marriage or adoption or IVF, because everybody's, not everybody's at the same place in terms of like legalizing certain things.
That stuff makes sense to me, right? Cultural reasons, legal reasons, right? But I think about surrogacy a lot.
Is hugely polarizing.
I don't have beef with surrogacy.
Nor do I.
But don't know. We've published pieces and people do.
I don't understand the moral issue, specifically if your surrogate has had children before.
Yeah.
And she knows what it's like to be pregnant and to have a baby. I think I take more issue with like somebody who has never had a child before and they decide to be a surrogate because you don't know what you're signing up for, and it can go 19 different ways, right? And everybody like it can be challenging, it can be great. But for somebody that has had children before, that is like, yes, I will take $100,000.
Yeah. And give you.
And do you this incredible service, kindness. Like, I don't understand. I mean, if you guys are listening and you disagree with me, like, please slide into my DMs and tell me what you think, because I'm genuinely curious to hear the other side of this.
Yeah. I like have I'm fully in support of surrogacy. And I've had 3 miscarriages, so I've had to explore a lot of alternate. I think when you have an opinion about how somebody has a child, you need to think about how they've come to that decision. Because surrogacy, adoption, fostering, they're not like decisions people come to lightly or easily.
Correct.
So it's like you think that like this person woke up and thought, I'm going to choose the hardest way possible, the way that's the most expensive, that's not supported legally in a lot of countries, that there's so much red tape in, and dedicate like and might take my life savings into this. Like they're doing it because they need to. And I just wish people had more empathy for that.
Yeah.
I have spoken about Roller Rabbit on this show before. I have posted my Instagram stories of me and Nell in my matching PJs because I am a big Roller Rabbit fan. Nell and I are in our Roller Rabbit era. Like, I genuinely cannot handle how cute all of our stuff is. And creating those little matching moments with my baby is one of my favorite things right now. If you're not familiar, Roller Rabbit is a globally inspired lifestyle brand known for its vibrant prints, iconic sleepwear, and thoughtfully crafted pieces that bring comfort and color and ease to everyday life. And they really have something for everyone, from babies and kids to parents and grandparents, and the quality is incredible. We are talking 100% Pima cotton, soft natural linens, and washable silks. And beyond the sleepwear, they do ready to wear, they have bedding, home, and I am really obsessed with their new Stars and Stripes collection. It is a collection filled with festive summer prints, nautical-inspired designs, and playful twists on Roller Rabbit classics. So from matching pajamas for the whole family to adorable swim, breezy dresses, lounge sets, and more, it's everything you need for beach days, backyard barbecues, and easy summer mornings. Visit rollerrabbit.com and take 20% off your purchase of $150 or more with code GOODMOM20 at checkout. Again, that's ROLLERRABBIT.com with code GOODMOM20 for 20% off your order of $150 or more. Terms and exclusions apply. So today's episode is sponsored in part by Honest. I love Honest. Caring for a baby, I know, you know, it comes with a million little decisions, from what goes on baby's skin to what you trust for the everyday messes, the cuddles, the bath time, the cleanups that happen at the least convenient moment possible. And I have become a devoted label reader this year. And once you start reading labels, you just cannot stop. And that's why Honest created baby essentials made for life's most delicate skin. Honest holds every product to their highest standard, the Honest standard, thoughtfully choosing the ingredients they put in and the ones they leave out. Their baby products are hypoallergenic and dermatologist tested, which for me means one less thing to second guess at 6:30 p.m. when we are mid-bath time. From the Honest Clean Conscious wipes, which live in like every bag I own at this point, to bath and body essentials and diapers, every product is designed for the delicate details that really do matter the most. Honest, the mother of all standards. Shop Honest on Amazon, Walmart, and Target.
I'm really glad I asked that question.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about sex and intimacy.
Let's talk more about it.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
How many times are you?
How many times a week are you having sex? No. I just think
Nobody wants to talk about
nobody
sex.
wants to,
Nobody asks
because
to
I
have a
think
baby.
people
We did, not to segue into our own product, but like we did create a deck of cards, which we have to gift you.
Fun.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
152
The sticky stuff.
The
Yeah.
sticky stuff. 152 prompt deck. Centering motherhood, but you don't have to be a mom to play. And there's a lot of questions that resonated during interviews that we compiled. We're going to ask you some questions later. Don't worry, we got an open pat. That one's just for you.
Hey, these are great questions.
Yeah.
Well,
you can use them.
Yeah.
Please.
And we found that, and they're sort of sectioned off into
Different categories.
different categories.
Is there a
that
sex and intimacy part of the deck
There's
of
an
cards?
intimacy.
There
Okay.
is a
Mhm.
full category just for that. And it's fun because you can use it as a journal prompt, or you can play it with a partner. And they are questions that are designed to provoke closer connections. And
Yeah.
you might pull a card and be like, I don't want to fucking answer this today.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
But they do sort of bring out, I would say like more sticky hidden topics, and sex and intimacy is a huge one. It's
Yeah.
like, it's a pretty reoccurring theme in that deck of cards because there's a lot of discomfort
Mhm.
in like having those types of conversations.
Yeah. On my Instagram stories today, I said, "What are you worried about?" An open-ended
Yeah.
question. And I mean, I should show you like the video, like all the things that people are worried about.
Yeah.
Because like I've gotten hundreds of responses
Mhm.
already. Because obviously, what are you worried about? Everybody's worried
Everyone's
about
worried.
everything.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
But a lot of the things that people are worried about is like sex and intimacy with their partner.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean, I think it's a huge thing. And I feel like it's one of those things that women or men too, I don't know, I'm going to speak for myself and women, feel embarrassed to talk about because they think if I'm not having this type of intimacy with my partner, does that mean something's really wrong?
Does it mean that my relationship
Is my
bad?
relationship
Yeah.
ending? I mean, even I was watching Olivia Wilde just came out with a film and she was talking about if you're not having sex with your partner, then there probably is a deeper thing going on that you should talk about. And I think there's just a lot of shame around that still.
Maybe the thing is that you had a baby and your hormones are crazy
Right,
and that you're
yeah.
in like
Or-
a broken body.
Yeah. You know, there could be so many different things. And I
Yeah.
think we should be applying the same nuance to the discussion around intimacy as we do with everything else, because it's just another part of your life. And it's tricky. It's tricky to like maintain that, raise a child, build a business, go to work every day, be part of a family. It's a lot. It's a lot to like.
And
add-
things have a season. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes like this isn't our season right now.
Yeah.
Like we're in the like keep the kid alive season.
Right.
Or the
like intimacy
Terrible
looks a
2
little
season.
bit different.
Or the
And it doesn't have to just be related to sex. Intimacy can evolve and can go in waves.
Yeah, because I'm still so newly postpartum, my husband and I sometimes talk about intimacy as just like what we're doing together right now is so intimate. Kind of what we touched on earlier, right? Like having these like moments where you see a different side to somebody that you didn't really know was there, or where they really step in and step up for you, or like they wash your hair in the bath because like you had a C-section and like you can't do it on your own, or like whatever the thing is. I think that there are moments for intimacy that look more like tenderness and love and care that can mean so much more than just like a P and a V.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever kind of sex you want to have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just, women are talking to me about this all the time. And their number one question is, what is normal?
Yes.
Like frequency, all of this stuff. They just want to know what's normal, because I think at like the core fear there is that like their relationship isn't going well.
Right.
Yeah. Like if you're not doing it, something must be wrong. But I don't like agree with that thinking.
I do not agree
I don't
with
either.
that at all.
But I do think that is one of the more taboo things that people don't like to openly discuss.
Yeah.
I think that's more of a closed door, or like text to your friend, or not even. Sometimes it's embarrassing to text your friend about it.
Wouldn't you also say like you've been in, maybe not you, because Lauren's been with her partner for her entire life.
Right.
But like I've been in dysfunctional, unhealthy relationships I've had way more sex in. And I do not want to go back there.
Right.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, it's true.
But,
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Yes.
And parenthood, it just adds a different layer. So I think that's the most intimate thing you can do with somebody. And I remember when our night nurse finally did come, like 5 weeks in. And it happened a few times. And I think one of my like childless friends was like, so what are you guys going to do? Like, are you going to go out to date night? And I'm like, no, we're going to sit in our bed and like eat ice cream sandwiches on like separate sides of the bed and like look at each other at 8 p.m. and say goodnight. And that's the most intimate thing we're going to do. Like we want to sleep for 12 hours. Like we don't want to go out for dinner. Like, and don't touch me. You know, like it was like right after I gave birth.
Yeah.
So I'm like, babe, no. Like, but she genuinely thought like we would want to go get sushi and have sex. I'm like,
I don't think, unless you've done it or you're in it, that you don't understand the level of exhaustion in year one of having a new baby. And it's not just from doing stuff. It's also from having to learn everything new. It's not just like, oh, you know, I'm physically caring for my child every day. It's that my brain has to learn 1,000 new skills and completely rewire for a totally different life. And all of that brain work is just as exhausting as the physical work of being a mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
1,000%.
I also want to know, like, doctors, if you're listening.
We have some doctors that listen.
Yeah.
There you go. Why on earth would you clear a woman like 6 weeks after she's had a baby? Like, I genuinely want to understand that, because I do not think that anybody, unless you really, really want to, then you should. But like, especially if you've had like a C-section or I don't know, I just think that's an insane timeline.
Oh, I don't know. I was like, it's tied to my husband. And I had a C-section.
Really? Like maybe, I don't, see, everyone's wired
But
so
I love
differently.
My hormones were going crazy though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in all different ways. Like not every day, but some days I was like, I feel so much emotion and love for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, look at what we just did together.
Yes.
Yes, that for sure.
You know what I mean?
And there's like fun things going on. Like, you're like, I'm making milk too. Like,
You like my boobs.
No, but I think there's this idea when you get cleared that you need to be doing that. And
I
then
agree.
And then it creates this
Yeah.
pressure. And for
there's
a lot
also
of women,
pressure from your partner, because in their minds, they're like,
we're
6
good.
weeks.
Yeah.
We're good
6
to go.
weeks.
Yeah.
We could do it.
Yeah. I feel like that needs to be communicated to the woman only.
Yeah.
And then like you decide when you just share that.
I take issue with the whole 6-week timeline just in general. I do not know why 6 weeks in most cases is the first time you get seen by your doctor after
That's insane.
you give birth. It's actually insane to me, and like medical guidelines need to be updated.
Yeah.
For a lot of things. A lot of things. Like even post loss, and miscarriage,
Yes.
the follow-up is presented as an optional. I'm like, why would this be optional?
Optional?
They're like, would you like to have an in-person or a virtual? I'm like, what are you going to tell me from a virtual that like everything was removed? Like, no, I'm coming in.
Walk me through step by step the pathology report, please, in person.
Like,
that's tell me what to do next.
Insane. But I mean, I obviously understand people have geographic like restrictions, or they miscarriage leave isn't like fully legalized in certain places, or whatever, for whatever reason, if they need to. But I do think that's an insane option to be presented with. You're like, no, I need a human interaction following this experience.
So we have a question that kind of touches on this to a certain degree. What is something that women think is a personal failure that's actually a systems problem? And for me, I talk about like the medical care gap a lot because that's my business at Love Wellness. It's like I suffered through medical care gaps after I gave birth. I had retained placenta, and it was like a series of unfortunate events. Just one happened after another. It was wild. But like, I'm curious, based on the women that you chat with, what do you see as a system failure, but people think is a personal failure?
Breastfeeding.
Yeah, definitely.
Because everybody thinks it comes naturally, and they're like, it's just try it. Just do it. It's natural. Like, which it is. I like, it is natural, but not for everybody.
Not for everybody.
There are a lot of issues that people don't talk about. Tongue tie.
Not producing enough.
Not producing enough. What's the one where they like do this? Not the tongue tie. It's like the palate thing where it's not wide enough and they have to cut it. There's a lot. And I don't think that we have a system in place for that kind of support, because they send in people when you're like nearly like dead to the world on drugs into the hospital room, and they're like, I'm here for whatever the 40-minute lesson you're gonna get. And you're like, wait, what?
40 minutes? Where did you give birth?
No,
you got 40 minutes lactation support.
No,
I got about 7.
5, yeah.
Well, they can't. They kept coming and checking back on me to be like, you need to like try, because like my daughter was like in the NICU for observation, and like there was just so much going on. But I think there's so many, like I think breastfeeding in particular is so polarizing, and we need to also normalize formula feeding as like a best practices choice and first option for women if they want to and need to medically.
Yeah.
And I don't think that system exists yet, which is ironic, because politically and like the system in the workplace is like, you're back in the office. So like nothing really supports the breastfeeding agenda in terms of like workplace structure. But I don't know. I think breastfeeding is like one that people, and I noticed in the interviews that if for whatever reason, like a woman weans early or she formula combo feeds from the beginning, she always provides the reason why, because she feels it's like a defense mechanism. And I do it too.
I do it.
I'm guilty of doing it. I'm like, oh, I like combo fed from the beginning because, and I'm like, but there doesn't need to be a because like you don't need to explain to anybody why you chose to feed the way you did.
Yeah. I would also just say how women feel they need to recover from loss and miscarriage. I feel like I experienced a loss last year, and for me, it felt much heavier than I think I thought it would. And to have to just go back to business as usual feels very strange. So I think feeling like a failure in that if you don't just go back to business as usual, it feels wrong. Like I had an early loss. I think it was 11 weeks. And so just because it was, early, I felt like,
that doesn't feel early to me. I mean, maybe like from a medical standpoint, but from an emotional standpoint, that's not early at all.
Yes. But I think that people feel like they just need to, again, like it's this endure what happened and just move on with your life. And I think it was very shocking to me how hard I took it and how much I wanted to just take care of myself after that and didn't have the opportunity to.
Oh my God, I'm getting teary. I'm so sorry.
But I feel like most women feel that way. Like, I don't think early miscarriages are treated with much weight. I don't think people.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, when the doctor told me I had a loss, right? There was no, do you want to talk to somebody about it? I remember leaving the doctor's office just empty. I felt like, what just happened? And I'm just going to get on the subway now and go home and have to take care of my toddler and bring him to camp tomorrow, whatever it was. It just felt like it's something that you had to do and move on from.
Well, who's going to take care of you?
Right.
You need to be cared for.
Yeah. And I think that isn't a system that's in place right now at all.
I agree completely.
Yeah. Not even like culturally. I don't think people
totally. Yeah,
treat
no,
it
we have
like
no clue how to handle.
Well, I think because
loss.
a lot of people don't share it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So-
also most people are not equipped to properly manage grief, their own grief, but also the grief of others. Like, you don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. Even when it's your 98-year-old grandmother who dies,
Yeah.
people are like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. And that's
Right.
it. You know what I mean? And it like doesn't really get deeper or go beyond that because nobody knows what to do. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's not just a systems failure.
Mhm.
It's like generalized human failure.
Right. Like, I think we haven't applied enough care to how people manage grief
Yeah.
in general.
I completely agree with
Yeah.
you. I'm not getting a lot of grief videos in my algorithm.
We're not getting a lot of grief videos. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
like,
but actually, there should be like a protocol for it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is in place at all. Yeah.
I think you guys have something new to write about.
I think
Spread
so,
the
too. Mm-hmm.
jelly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love this.
Mhm.
Well, this has been today's episode. I'm so excited that you guys were able to come join me. And I just love what we talked about and what we shared. Tell me where everybody can find you guys, tune in, read, listen. I mean, you guys do it all.
We do. I mean, yeah. Spreadthejelly.com or Spread the Jelly on Instagram.
Yeah.
Our newsletter, the sticky stuff on Substack. If you sign up for that, you'll that's probably the most informative because it recaps everything on the site and we have a ton of events. You can buy the game on the website
I know,
as
I'm gonna play the
well.
game.
We're going to ask you a few questions, actually.
Oh,
with
you
the
want to ask me
cards.
a couple questions?
Yeah, can
okay,
we?
let's
Can
do it.
we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, guess what? The episode's not over.
Yeah.
So the other week, I told you about my solo ResortPass day, and it was divine. This time, I made it a family thing. We booked a cabana for the day, packed up Nell, packed up my husband, and had a full resort day, only 15 minutes from our apartment, shade for her, pool for me and dad, someone bringing me an iced tea while I sat somewhere that was not my living room. And I gotta say, it was a 10 out of 10. If you are new to it, ResortPass gives you access to luxury hotel pools, spas, and cabanas for the day. No overnight stay needed, no membership fees. Booking takes under 5 minutes and passes start at $25. And same-day booking is available for the spontaneous among us. They partner directly with over 2,500 luxury hotels and resorts across the US, the Caribbean, and Mexico, so you get the same elevated experience as an overnight guest. Over 6 million people have taken a ResortPass staycation, and with 100,000 plus 5-star reviews, clearly we are all onto something. Visit resortpass.com/goodmom to get $20 off your first booking of $100 or more. That's resortpass.com/GOODMOM for $20 off. Resort Pass, the day is yours. So if you have experienced grief in this lifetime, and many of us have, grief does not keep a calendar. Anxiety does not clock out at 5. Depression does not care that it is your busy season. I'm familiar with all of these feelings. Grow Therapy has therapists with nights, early mornings, and weekend hours, so support fits the couple of hours that you actually have free in your day. And I am just going to say it plainly, I'm a big believer in therapy, especially in seasons of really big change. And motherhood is nothing but a big change. It's a constant big change. And having a professional in your corner is not a luxury, it is maintenance. But I know the hardest part is usually the logistics, finding someone who takes your insurance and has hours that work for your life. And that is what really makes Grow easy. Whether it's your first time in therapy or your 50th, they connect you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the US, virtual and in person. You can search by what matters to you: insurance, specialty, identity, availability, and you can get started in as little as 2 days. No subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session, and you can cancel up to 24 hours ahead of time at no cost. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is honestly really here to help. Grow accepts over 125 insurance plans. Sessions average $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/goodmom today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/goodmom. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
We couldn't not interview. It's like our
It's our thing.
It's our thing.
Yeah. So we
pulled a
pulled
few.
we pulled some of our cards.
Our-
Okay,
of
from
our
the
favorites.
game, the sticky
Yes.
stuff game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And
so
you can
want me
choose. Yeah.
to pick. Okay,
Pick a couple.
Pick a couple. Okay,
Look at the back of that card. The other end. The woman on the man.
this one.
There's
one
a woman
behind
riding a
it.
man.
Oh, that's funny. Zoom in on this if we get a chance. I love this.
It's a good one.
Take out the trash.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's play the sticky stuff.
Yay. Okay. What's a dream you've put on pause that you hope to return to?
Well, I guess the question is about yourself. I'm about to get like a little self-centered right now.
We love that.
As you should.
Yes.
I have really put self-care on hold as a new mom.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a very complicated early postpartum. I had a C-section and retained placenta, and I didn't get that bitch taken out of me until 3.5 months postpartum.
Wow.
So when I had my surgery, my uterus was still 10 weeks gestational size. Like crazy. So I'm really only early into my true postpartum healing because you have to not have any placenta in you for everything to normalize and stabilize. So that didn't happen to me for like the first 3.5 months.
Wow.
So I'm playing catch up. And I feel like I have had this very extended period of time where I felt dramatically unwell because I was unwell. And I let self-care like fully fall by the wayside.
Mhm.
Like skincare, eating healthy, getting my hair done. My nails are so short because I just like pick at them lately.
Yeah.
I mean, you have
And I
the
think-
mom manicure.
I know.
know.
Same.
We
I'm like,
all-
we all
yeah.
have it right now.
Show me you're a mom. Show me your hands.
Yeah.
You can tell by the fingernails.
Yeah.
Mine are bad.
And so I think that something that I have like really put on the back burner because I literally just had to survive. We're talking about survive is just how I care for my body and how I like present in public. Whether it's like I'm just wearing my fucking pajamas today,
Mhm.
literally as I walk my daughter around the block because I do not have it in me to like get ready and be presentable. And trust me, I was still taking plenty of showers and brushing my teeth. So personal hygiene was like still on the list. And I know people even suffer with that though.
yeah.
Mhm.
But like for me, I have always been somebody that like exercises and feels good in my body and like likes what I look like. And I just stopped caring.
Mhm.
And I would like to start caring again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's vain,
No.
No.
but I don't think it matters if it's vain.
I don't
But
think it's vain.
But I love that you articulated it like you wanted to care about it. It's not that you needed to do it or you know, it's like it's for you.
Yes.
It's
I
not
think
for an
it,
external validation. You want to care.
right.
And it's something you valued prior to becoming a mom. Those are all things
Totally.
that really made you happy. So I think it's also
Correct.
like coming back to the things that make you happy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like when I was little, even in high school and after, I was always really good at doing my friend's hair and makeup.
Right.
And we called it Lowe's Beauty Palace.
I am obsessed. I want to come to Lowe's Beauty Palace.
Yeah.
Lowe's
same.
Beauty Palace,
Yeah.
I can give you a fire updo. Like really.
Like, please.
French twist.
Yeah.
Like a great winged eyeliner.
Yeah.
I'm your girl.
Do you
Lowe's
feel
Beauty
like you're
Palace.
better
Bring
at
it back.
doing it for other people than yourself?
No, both.
You're like,
but-
no, I'm great at
I'm like so
both.
good at everything. But yeah, I like genuinely enjoy it. Like doing stuff
Mhm.
like that feels like a creative outlet for
Mhm.
me. And I
Yeah.
think for a lot of people it does. And yeah, I just like stopped caring because I think that shows you the state of mind and like physical body that you're in.
Mhm.
And now I like want to get back to that place.
Well, I'm excited
Yeah.
for you.
I want
That
to
you're
put on
feeling
like a
it.
cool outfit and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
be snatched, but I'm not yet.
You're where you need to be right now. But like, it's fun to be like, my mind is shifting.
Yeah.
And I want to do something different.
I will
Yeah.
say I like got treatment for my postpartum depression recently.
Mhm.
And since that has been like managed in a big way, I'm starting to feel more like myself and like I'm excited to like do the things that I care about again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
We're doing a story on that, actually. Do you want to ask one?
Yeah. When your kids look back, how do you hope they'll say you showed love?
So this is something that I think about a lot. And I think it's kind of like comes down to a parenting style.
Mm-hmm.
I have observed that a lot of people parent and give instruction without explaining why something is important. And I want my kids to remember that, like, I'm a mom that presented balance and both sides of the coin and reason and understanding behind like the decisions that we're making. Not that this is like passive parenting at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want them to remember me as somebody that was like kind and fair and balanced, and that they understood me and that they understand the reasons why I was making certain decisions. Because I think as a kid, it can be really confusing and like your brain's not developed enough to like really understand everything. But that can lead to complicated relationships with people. And I really want to do my best to try to be a good teacher and a good like steward of what it means to be a good person and like why and how to do that in their time on this earth. So that's what I hope they remember.
I really
Did you grow
love
up like that?
To a certain degree, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's just kind of who I am. I'm a Libra.
I was
and
just
I'm
about
like,
to ask you.
I'm a Libra and
Yeah.
I'm a really good expression of a Libra
Mhm.
in terms of like balance.
I have a
and
lot of
scales.
Libras in my life.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like
they're
it makes
I'm like a magnet for them.
it makes them feel like they're considered and they're a part of the discussion versus just we're telling you this, so that's why it is the way it is. It's like you're explaining it to them so they understand.
Yeah.
They're part of the conversation.
They're part of the conversation.
And the
Yeah.
decision.
And the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, last one.
Last one.
Who do you feel the freest to be messy around?
My husband. I hope that everyone in partnership, that's their answer.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
I think we did IVF. I had endo excision surgery. My pregnancy was rough. My postpartum was rough. I didn't have any other choice but to be messy and to be sad and to be uncomfortable and to be ugly and to smell bad sometimes or whatever it is. And I had to get comfortable with that with my husband like pretty quickly. Because I just didn't have any other option. He did so much caretaking for me in many days, like in many ways on many days. And so that has built a level of trust in our relationship that I really, really value. And frankly, like when you're kind of messy, like there's a lot of really good stuff there. And so for me, my answer is definitely my husband.
I love that.
That's so sweet.
Do you feel like your relationship evolved a lot just in the time where you were trying to conceive?
Yeah, because it's been up and down.
Yeah.
You know, I think having endometriosis created a whole different layer of challenges emotionally when you're trying to have a baby. Anybody that does IVF, whether you understand why you're having a problem or not, because sometimes you're in the doctor's office doing IVF and like they can't really tell you why you're there. It's just not working great for whatever reason. Or it can be very specific. Do you know what I mean? And for me, I always had low egg count and like didn't make a ton of embryos. And so the doctor was like, I think that there's just something else going on here because your results are atypical for somebody your age. And to even get to the endometriosis diagnosis, which is surgery, there's no test for endo. Like I had to do an extremely painful uterine biopsy, awake, no pain medicine, worse than an IUD insertion. Like literally just like stick knives up into you and chop off a piece of your uterus while you are awake lying on the doctor's office table. And then they send it to the lab. And if it shows inflammation in the cells, it's suggestive that you have endometriosis because it's a
so crazy
inflammatory disease.
That's the like solution.
We'll
barbaric.
talk about a care gap.
Barbaric,
Yeah.
but it's like the best there is.
Yeah.
But yeah, to get an endodiagnosis, you have to have eyeballs on the endometriosis in the tissue and be like, yes, you have endometriosis. So I don't know. Like, it just was like so complicated and so twisty and turny. And I think that you have to just strap in for the ride together. And he surely strapped in.
There's something like, it was kind of like what we were talking about with the early days and that like really, really challenging part being so rewarding because you get to see this person and you're like, I want to do this with you.
Yeah. And them really showing up for you.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
Like, wow, thank God. Like
We chose
reinforcing this right decision I made.
Yeah.
Yeah. It creates like a deepness and a bond, a level of a bond that is hard to like replicate or recreate elsewhere unless you go through something like that with somebody else, which, you know.
Yeah. And I do think too with like similarly with loss that you have a very, very just different perspective on life. Not that I'm not pro-life in the sense that like every woman deserves her choice and should enter into pregnancy the way she wants to in motherhood. But I do have a very different, like I consider things much differently now having lost 3 pregnancies because I just think about how much has to go right, you know, for a pregnancy to occur. And like, I didn't have that perspective before. And I actually think it makes you appreciate everything so much differently.
Yeah.
So there's like beauty and like the stickiness of it.
Yeah. Okay, last thing. Define sticky.
Well, I feel like it's tied into the name, Spread the Jelly. And I feel like Amrit was the one who...
I like I think women and mothers, it goes back to what Lauren was saying, was like the survivor. And we are required to expand all the time. We hold so much. We're required to hold everything together, be malleable, take any like shape or form, but like be the glue and really like the base of everything. Like that stickiness is so inspiring for us, and what like we really wanted to redefine it and like give power to the name. And then also it's like all the sticky stuff you don't talk about. You know, there's so much of it. I mean, we just spent I think an hour and we could have talked for hours. So it's like there's so much stickiness. And we wanted to reframe it in a positive way. And then Spread the Jelly for us was like, let's just talk about it. Let's just spread it all out there.
Yeah.
Don't hold back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Great brand. Really cool platform.
Thank
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course.